What's up, everybody? Weston Hodkiewicz here at PackersNews.com, joined alongside Pete Dougherty. Today, Pete, looking at the offensive line, I know a spot the Packers are probably going to be most interested in is the center spot. But traditionally, they don't like taking guys earlier in rounds. Who do you think might shuffle out there for the Packers if they do happen to look for someone else aside from J.C. Tretter in this draft?
I think they're a lot like I think a lot of teams in the league. By no means all, because we saw a center go in the first round last year, Frederick to Dallas. But I think a lot of teams think you can get a perfectly good enough center in the fifth round on back, even undrafted guys. You see that when I do research on whoever the Packers are playing each week. More often than not, the center was picked from the fifth round on back. It's not unusual, even if they're an undrafted guy. It's a position where you can, they take a year or two to develop a guy. So my guess is with J.C. Tretter, the front runner for the job, the Packers won't use a pick on this very high. I would think they'd go fifth rounder or later, but I would think they want a guy who can at least battle for the backup or battle for the starting job and be a fallback a year or two down the road. And the two guys that come to mind are Stork of Florida State and Bodine of North Carolina. They're both just a little undersized. I mean, they're both 300-pound guys, and they're both over 6'2", but they're not huge guys. Tretter's a bigger guy than them, but they're smart. Bodine is one of the smartest guys in the draft from talking to scouts. They're both tough guys. They're just the kind of battlers and the savvy kind of players who end up making it in the NFL. They may not start as a rookie, but they could start a year or two down the road.
As you illustrated, Pete, typically they look for those later round guys. Two guys that seem to separate themselves at the top of the pack would be Marcus Martin from USC and also Weston Richburg from Colorado State. Are they, coming out from what you've heard, are they as talented and have as much potential as people are kind of saying so far, being the top front runners at that position?
Yeah, I mean, neither one of them is like the Pounceys coming out of Florida who were first-round picks, but it looks like a decent chance one or both could go in the second round. Martin's the more athletic of the two. I think he could probably play more guard, whereas Richburg I think is more just a straight center. But I would think both of those guys will be gone, if not by late in the second, really early in the third.